Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. Good morning. We are live. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Who is with me? Show of hands. Who is with me? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day where our dialogue and conversation on creativity continues. Who's with me? Say hello. Let me know you're on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's start jumping in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Today's one is going to be absolutely incredible. Yes, I'm feeling this one because we're getting to where we want to go. So I'm excited. I'm just hoping I can do this one justice, articulate myself very well, and take us over this line because everyone is a hurdle. Remember, I am growing. I am doing this for the first time, trying to pass on as much as I can based on the instructions that guide me or lead me. So get ready, get your notepad and pen, and be ready for another beautiful day. Who is with me? Who is on? Nike, I see you. Pastor, welcome. It's going to be a very good one. Today we talk about creative taste. I'm sure you're wondering, where is this one going? Listen, I was wondering the same. Because when PT talks, I get this concept or this idea for the next one and for the next one. Maggie Bills, good morning, welcome, I see you. Who else is on? Who else is on? Who else is on today? Thank you very much. I can see what you've done. Yes, broadcast it on any community that needs to see this. Shemaya Gold. Hello, Ma. Good morning. Have your seat, notepad and pen, cup of tea, and let's go. We're going to have a good conversation. I'm ready. Good morning. Who else is there? Ooh, Miss Amina Kabia. Hello, Ma. All your creative young friends, send this to them. Let's have a good conversation. Let's have a good conversation. Yes, Ma, I can see the comments. Notepad ready. I love it. Thank you very much. Because this one is close to my heart. It really is, because we're getting to where influence becomes, it becomes a weapon. And we have to be able to generate influence in order to put out good work, take our community, and be what we need to be. So, yes, notepads will work for this one. Welcome, 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 welcome. Who else do I have on? Is that Goodness? Miss Speed herself. So Run, good morning, Ma. Welcome. And I'm hoping that Well, she always tells me she listens. So I'm hoping that, I don't know whether she's awake by this time, but I want to believe that Pastor Mariam is somewhere on around you. So I welcome you, Ma. And I welcome everyone who is joining us today as we continue to dialogue and look into things that are hidden that make up what we need to be. So what that means is, um, you know, you can be on a journey and not know that, or not know what is powering you or what is carrying you. What I mean by that is, let's say you're going from here to Scotland, and if you're sat on a train, you may not be able to do anything with the vehicle taking you from Scotland to London. But if you are in a car, you have to be sure of what that car needs to get there. Does it have fuel? Has the engine been serviced? Is the engine oil fresh? The tires, have they got air? So based on where you are, there is responsibilities that the vehicle or that journey demands from you in order for you to get to where you're going. It might even be that you are not the passenger and you are the driver. Then we have to then ask, how rested are you? Do you know the knowledge? Do you have knowledge of the routes to take you to where you're going? What is your skill in driving? So that way, you're not only just going somewhere, you are you are powering or um, handling something that requires you to know so much more than if you were a passenger. A lot of things have to be, so that's what these talks are about. You have to know what you need to be doing in order to get to where you're going. So like we started talking about authority. Do you have authority? Who sent you where you're going? When you get there, who are you going to say sent you? Or this is the reason why I did this and so on. So leadership, creative leadership was the second thing we spoke about, which is, are you able to conduct yourself as a driver on that road going to Scotland? Are you able to maneuver? Are you a leader enough to know when to obey the traffic lights, and speed limits and things like that? We talked about creative value and so on. So that's what this talk is about. It's trying to, or not trying, it is designed to equip you with as much as possible. You know, PT speaks, I take something from it, make it creatively relevant, and show us this is what he's saying. This is what where he wants the creatives to be in mindset, in our internal combustion, what happens inside, and then our output, if that makes sense. So you're going to be very mindful of what you take in because it's going to create an internal combustion on the inside, and then that is then going to produce output. So for example, you have to make sure you put the right kind of fuel in that car. If it's a diesel car and you put kerosene or fuel or whatever, something might not work. So you have to put the right substance in, and then it will create combustion in the engine, and that engine will produce speed, and that speed will take you to destination. So that's the simplest thing that we're trying to do today. Abby, I see you. Good morning. Zoe, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love it. I'm seeing more and more people. Thank you very much. So on that note, without delaying any further, because, wow, 11 minutes. Let's get straight into it then. We have spoken about creative authority, creative leadership, creative future, creative value, creative room, creative double. Last week we talked about creative speech, and we've been doing this for 11 weeks now. Today this is the 11th week. So for 10 weeks, which is incredible, we've come far. Well, we're not gone far, but the journey has well and truly started. Because when we put out 11 weeks of content, including this week, we are on a journey. But one thing I'm going to ask you to make sure that you can make every connection that, because these topics, believe me, they are random. Because I hear PT, I draw I take a reference or inference or whatever you want to call it from what he's saying, and I deliver it without knowing what the next one will be. But gradually, a very strong pattern has emerged. A very strong connection has been found. I have found in everything that we've discussed. I never sat down and wrote down a journey where we are going. This is where we are going. It's only today that I looked at it and I said, oh my God, these things incredibly connect. And because I've seen a pattern, I've kind of like understood where it will end. Because 11 weeks in, the pattern is so strong, I can fill in the blanks. I can now say, oh God, I see what you're doing. PT, I see you, I hear you. So I now have an end that I'm now building to. So after the 12th week, we can then begin to look at things. I don't even know where we're going to go from there, but I hope that you have been able to make the connection. Let me repeat it again. Week 1 was creative authority. Week 2 was creative leadership. Week 3 was creative future. Week 4 was creative value, which was the first time we saw a 3 parts of one topic, of one title. And then after that was creative room. And then after that, there was creative double. And then creative speech, which also we saw 2 parts of. Today, we are going to look into or go a little bit deeper, because what all these things we've listed, all these topics have done is, let me not go ahead of myself. So today we are talking about creative taste. So I welcome you, London. I welcome you, my beautiful creative community. I welcome you, those in the immediate group chat where we are a small, tight-knit force of creativity. I welcome you today. I'm Daniel Ihedwa. I'm a pastor in the Nxtion family, SPAC Nation family. And what we do is use everything that we have, everything that we are, to elevate one person and then eventually a community from anything low socio economic situations, low leadership situations, as if you have no guide, no one to guide you, lost by yourself. We use everything we have to raise someone from where they are not supposed to be or where they need to be. That's my job as we dialogue, to bring as much light I can to your situation and my situation. Everything we talk about is creativity. As sound as I have been under authority to receive, and it hopefully will bring as much illumination into any stage, anywhere that you are. So today we're talking about creative taste. And I want to say this from the very, very get-go, from the beginning. Anyway, I'll get to that. So taste is not preference. You have to understand where I'm coming with this. Taste, as we talk about it, is not preference, like what you like. No, it's way deeper than that. The taste I'm talking about is integrity. Taste is integrity made visible. So for example, we may not know, someone may be hearing your voice, but you haven't seen them, or they sound a certain way, very quiet, very soft, very nice. But when you see them, they come out fully goth in their dressing, black everywhere, spikes. I mean, they show you something that is incredible. Like, this doesn't match what I heard. So when you see what their taste so is, When it becomes visible, you get a better and a clearer picture. Taste is what happens when, so let me bring it back to what we're doing. So taste is what happens. Remember what I said, it's not preference. Let me even put it this way. Taste is born. It's not something you can go and copy. So when a creative life is fully aligned on the inside, when you are fully aligned on the inside, that alignment begins to show on the outside. It's that thing that shows on the outside that is your taste. So we will know, because why? Let me tell you why. Psalm 34, I think, verse 8. It's where the writer of the Psalms begins to say, taste and see that the Lord is good. I hope you see what happened there. There is a powerful order there. It says, taste and see that the Lord is good. It does not say see and taste. No, it says as soon as you taste, you see. So, which means as soon as that person comes out dressed in full black, like a goth type of person, you see who they really are. So your taste will cause us to see who you are, how you are on the inside. You can't help it. Disalignment or alignment on the inside will produce the taste of, will show us who you are. We will see. So it doesn't say see, then taste. It is always taste first. And what brings about taste is everything that you have gone through. Yes, someone who is always on the ready to throw a punch. That thing that you want to show us shows us what your taste is. I was sat beside Pastor Faith on Sunday as she opened up the conversation with PT, and her choice of words and her flow, I could see her taste. I could see confidence. I could see mastery of words. Taste is not visible until it produces evidence. So you can never see it until evidence of it shows up, one way or the other. Taste leads to something that we can see. Okay, so you can say that it's down to your preference or whatever. I will accept that. So as soon as you walk into a restaurant, we will see. So, okay, let me make that distinction. What I'm talking about is not the food you chose. I'm talking about the food you consume. So when that food arrives, how quickly you gobble it up, how quickly you eat, lick your finger, will tell us who you are. That's really the taste. It's not the food that you've ordered, because me and you can order the same food and I'll eat it a certain way. How you eat it, what you see, is where we're going to today. And how do you produce something that is worthy of seeing? When we read a scripture we read today, you will understand what taste must do. So when we speak about creative taste, what we are speaking about is the visible result of inner order. Yes. So remember that quick, curt remark that you blotted out when someone said something. It gives the room a taste of who you are. Oh, she's afraid. She's angry. He's mad. He's about to throw a punch. Fist is clenching. Taste is that visible result that comes from your inner order. And the topics we've read, whether you have mastered the creative double, the two people that make you up, what kind of room you grew up, or you are growing up, or you are in every day. Taste is not just something, it's not just how something looks. It is who someone is expressed clearly. So for me, taste is simply creative integrity. I hope I'm making sense. I don't want to lose anyone in this. So I need you to really Flow with me. I need you to flow with me. Thank you. Just reading your comments to make sure I'm not missing anything out. Oh yes, it's been 11 weeks and it's getting more interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. So taste is not born. Taste is not pretended. Trust me, it is the output of what is inside. Creative taste is not something you fake. You cannot even copy it. It's not something you can copy. It's not something you borrow from another person. It comes from inside. Creative taste is born when the whole inner life begins to come into harmony. You have leadership. You have authority. You have leadership. Not leadership of someone who is over you. That is the word we use to separate that is authority. You have leadership. You're going to turn up on time. You're going to rehearse. You're going to practice. You're going to study to show yourself approved. And when you do that, value appears from within you. I know who I am. And based on that, you can creatively master or have hold of the future to say, I will not fail. This will happen. Like the 5th is coming. I will have 2 souls, 3 souls. Sunday hasn't even come, but you are creatively arresting something that is in the future and saying that when all of those things begin to be in harmony, taste is born. That means creative authority will give you order. It's in order. In you, creative leadership is in order. Creative future is in order. Your creative value is in order. Room that you operate in, either room internal or the room where you are, is properly in order. It's properly ordered. Your double life, or the self and the spirit, is incredibly governed. They become one force. Your speech is disciplined. When all these things begin to work together, taste emerges naturally. I'm telling you. So how you sound is because of what's inside. The choice of words, the way you dress, that thing is proof of what's going on. So taste, or how you walked into the room, what you were wearing, what you said, it wasn't the first thing. The first thing was the result of the inner life and how much it was put together. So I wasn't sure how to anchor this word. It was floating around in my mind, and I was thinking, how do I land this thing? How do I make it make sense? Until I was listening to the senior pastor of London City yesterday, and it clicked. Unbelievable. Listening to him and knowing his alignment to my creative authority, I was able to, he just said a word that anchored everything and brought it down. He spoke about timing and time. And then there was a scripture that he just dropped casually. Not that he's casual, but he just said it. And that was it for me. I fully understood where we were going today with this. And it was when he said, it was, let me find that scripture and we will read it. Bear with me. It was a scripture from John. The book of John, chapter 2. I'm going to read it from the Message version. Watch this. 3 days later, bear with me. 3 days later, there was a wedding in the village of Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there. Jesus and his disciples were guests also. When they were running low on wine at the wedding banquet, Jesus' mother told him, they are just about out of wine. Jesus said, is that any of our business? Mother, is that any of our business, mother? Yours or mine? So here's what P-Sam said. This isn't my time. Don't push me, this scripture says. And then she went on to tell them, whatever he tells you to do, do it. And scripture takes us to, obviously, the miracle of water turning into wine. So this is the clearest picture of creative taste I can find it, well, not I can find. It was the one that stood out. Because as soon as I heard those words, I knew that was it. So here is Jesus in a wedding. The wine runs out. So in a situation that is a wedding, their let me say, liquid of choice to celebrate running out, you can represent it as a social breakdown. Something has happened socially. There is now going to be a lack. So, which means the celebration is at risk. The atmosphere is breaking down. You can take that and apply it to society where we are. It could even be you running out of creative steam. You don't know what to do. They might call it writer's block, something. There is something that is happening that is not supposed to be happening. For within the context of what we just read, there is going to happen, there's going to be public embarrassment. So Christ's mom brings the matter to him, and his answer was, "Why do you involve me? My time has not yet come." Why this line matters is this. He wasn't being rude. Instead, based on what Pisam was saying yesterday, he was showing something very, very deep. You see, whatever we are going to do, which is why how society has broken down to the point it's broken down has to do with people always want to show up before their time. Someone wants to be married before their time. Someone thinks this is when this should happen. This is when this should happen. As in, nobody respects time. Nobody wants to understand what is time doing, because what he was showing us there is that creative taste, what you show up as, it has every relationship. It has the strongest relationship. You cannot separate it from time. Creative taste and time, creative taste requires time to have any kind of meaning or substance whatsoever. So what he was showing us here is that, listen, I can't just step out when I'm not supposed to. So hear this. A person, someone, a human being, an artist, a painter, whoever you are, who has taste does not rush ahead of timing. A person with taste does not violate process. So let me keep going. A person with taste respects order. There will be a breakdown when you start trying to come out of timing. Yeah. So when he says my hour has not come, he's not showing he's not being stubborn or showing weakness. No, he's showing restraint, because this is requiring to remember. Let me put it in a way that most of you listening to me will understand, especially if you're a woman, if you're female. How things begin to break down very quickly is because a woman will want to show her beauty too quickly. Too quickly. It's the same restraint he's showing here. I can't perform a miracle yet. It's not my time. He is showing alignment. There is a time appointed for this to happen. He is showing that he is not ruled by pressure. There is a creative authority he is submitted under. There is a creative leadership by which he is powered. He's powering himself. He has value and so on. And he understands the room that he's in. Everything we've taught does so make sense with this one scripture. I hope you're listening to me. But still, then, as in, he still turns water into wine. What does this mean? Because the thing is, when P-Sam used those lines or the words, he said, "My time hasn't yet come." One thing that came to my mind was, but he still did the miracle. It wasn't about the miracle. It was about, because taste is who you are. When you create a miracle, you are showing who you are. So how do you not show who you are, but still create a miracle? Which means you as an artist, you as a creative person, you as an exceptionally beautiful human being, instead of showing your beauty so that you can get the attention, it could be both male and female. But let me stay with female. Instead of you showing your beauty very quickly to get all the attention, you can still show that beauty by helping organize a space, by helping exactly the same way I know so many of you around me do, helping build something. You are still showing that beauty. There is a time to be visibly beautiful, properly made up, dressed up, and come out. So Christ wasn't going to show himself so quickly. But guess what? He was still going to turn water into wine. What does this mean? What it means is that he didn't violate time. What he did was operate beneath it. He operated beneath it because when you read that scripture, let me go back to it quickly and show you. So from verse 8, he gave them an instruction. He says, fill the pots with water, and they filled them to the brim. Now fill your pitchers and take them to the host. And they did. So when the host tasted the water that had become wine, he didn't know what had just happened. He didn't know. That's what you're looking for. He didn't know. If he didn't know, everybody in that room, in that banquet, in that party, in that wedding, didn't know that a miracle has been done. So that's Christ hiding under time. Zero recognition. So the guy called out the bridegroom and said, everybody I know, so I'm reading from the message version, that's why it sounds like this, which I love. Everybody I know begins with their finest wines, and after the guests have had their fill, brings in the cheap stuff. But you have saved the best till now. So the part I'm going is, it says, when the host tasted the water that had become wine, he didn't know what had just happened. Only the servants, of course, knew. Only the servants. So Christ coming out as Christ, as a miracle worker, he hid that from the world. But his taste, who he is, still came out when something exceptional needed to happen. He didn't violate time, like I said. What he did was perform, operate beneath it. He did not step into public performance. Nobody knew who did that. He did not force a spectacle. He didn't want to say, see me, miracle worker. No, what he did was do what he is on the inside. He executed with precision. He produced taste. And that taste translated into when someone said, what is this? This is the best wine. How are you bringing out the best at this time of the day, at this time of the event? So what I'm trying to show us today is alignment on the inside. It causes you not to try and bypass time. That is the singular best proof of taste. Because if you want to produce something incredible, you will wait for time. P-Sam was saying that it will be time that will reveal you. It will show you. When the time is right, it does not. As in, what's the word? it doesn't discriminate. You will be shown. So if we're saying that he operated beneath time, he did not allow timing to rule his identity. If I don't do this by 12, by 13, by 25, by 30, then I'm nobody. Who told you that? Because what that is going to do is force bad taste out of you. It's going to force bad behavior out of you. He did not disrespect timing. He knew what he could do. You know what you can do. He knew what he carried. You know what you carry, that you can draw, that you can do all this. But can you wait for your taste to mature, for everything to align? He knew that he was not supposed to be seen then. Powerful stuff. Some people know how to create, but they reveal too early. You have power, but zero patience. We know you have a gift, but no timing. Christ had all three: power, patience, and taste. Remember what I said, that the kind of wine he produces will tell us what's going on the inside. And it was recorded to be the best wine. That's why that miracle was not ordinary. Absolute respect of time, submission to time. When that happened, as in what was happening on the inside, when it was activated by those pleaded instructions from a mother, he didn't just solve a problem, he produced the best. Hence the reason why the guy said, "You saved the best till now." That is creative taste. When there is full maturity under time for something to come out of us. It does not just fix, as in our creativity, the things that we do, does not just fix what is broken. It delivers something that is excellent. Is that not the journey on the truth of stagnation? It's not just that people are being taken out of low social, it's like they're given responsibility. They are placed where they need to be, platforms and things like that. It has to be to deliver something that is excellent. If you begin to read further down, let me do that. So it says in verse 11, this act in Cana of Galilee was the first sign that Jesus gave, the first glimpse of his glory, and his disciples believed him. So the question will be, why did the disciples believe? Why did they believe? It's very important for you to understand. What they believed was not just that water became wine. No, it's not that. It's that the outcome was exceptional. I need you to hear this. It's the outcome, because we can have set designers. You can have interior designers. You can have whatever. There are so many people. People can produce based on the level of the name of a field. But the question is, where is the exceptional? Where is the restraint of power? Because if I create a wine like this, that day, I'm going to get everyone in that wedding to follow me on social media. But they saw stillness, quietness, nothing. You produce something exceptional like this, they saw power, they saw quality, but they saw reverence for time. They will believe something about this person. Let me put it this way. Power will introduce you, but taste will confirm you. And I will always going to use this between PT and myself. And I want you to do the same thing with you and whatever leader placed above you, especially as we are his instruments of creativity. there is so many places it's going to introduce us to, which obviously you've seen so many already. We've heard about 50 events this year alone up till now, and it's just like first quarter. That power, when we experience it and it gives us a platform, you must deliver taste. You must deliver what matches up to this platform that we are given, which is the reason why I'll always say, I'm not going to miss this. I'm going to show that that speech, that confirming, that asking, not asking, that commissioning, go and teach, go and speak. I'm never going to miss it. I'm going to show taste that I know where I am. I know who I am looking at. I know who I'm observing. I know who I am with, as in you listening to me. I'm going to make sure I come with quality. Remember what I said, power, PT, introduces me, my taste will confirm me. If there is no taste, trust me, this thing will die out very quickly. Time will eliminate. Power may get attention, which his power gave me the attention that you tuned in to hear this. Taste will create trust. If I study properly, if I am connected to what is happening in the nation, if I'm hearing the vibe of the nation, that God is looking for creatives. I'm trying to replace that word with leader so that you don't say, oh, I'm not a leader. Creatives, he's looking, he wants a creative. And I have to make sure that I come on the tone that the nation is at so that trust can be born. Power may make you watch as you're watching me. But let me reverse it. How you come out, how you are, may make people watch you, but your taste will make them believe you. Yes, your taste will make them believe you. Taste and see. Your taste will make them believe you. So quickly then, 15 minutes to go. 3 ingredients of creative taste. 3. For creative taste to happen, 3 things have to be in perfect alignment. Funny enough, one of the words, the first thing is alignment. So there has to be alignment. There has to be environment. There has to be need. So alignment, environment, and need. These 3 things are the ingredients for creative taste to become absolutely clear. These 3 things have to be impeccably mastered. Taste begins with alignment, which is alignment to the first thing we talked about, your creative authority. You have to be aligned with God. Who is God represented by here? And so on. You have to be aligned with truth. And like we just spoke about now, you have to be aligned with timing. As Christ said, my hour hasn't yet come. That's alignment. He's not acting out of pressure or acting out of order. No, there has to be an alignment with time. Then environment. Taste depends on environment. And remember what we studied, or one of the topics we looked at, creative room. That's an environment. Which room are you in? And which room are you coming out of? This is incredible. It was a noisy stage. But for him, it wasn't going to be a public show. Because that room, you have to have mastery of the room. There was chaos and pandemonium brewing because wine was running out. Agitation will be brewing. Noise will start coming up. And guess what? It's also an opportunity to perform. It's a performance stage. It's about to be a public show. Will he answer that? Will that room draw him in? No, it didn't. And also remember, like I said, if you're driving a car, it's got an engine that needs to be fixed. It's got tanks that need to be filled with fuel. It's got tires that need to be filled with air and so on. In this same room, there were servants there were disciples, there were people in need. I guarantee you, those servants have never been part of anything that was spectacular. That they are the only ones who are carrying the knowledge of where this beautiful thing came from. Christ had the ability to orchestrate that room to a point where taste was born. It showed. And then finally, need, which is the thing that PT will always hit on. What does our community need? What does that young person need? What does that industry need? Need. There was a real need in that wedding. Their social lubricant was running out. What was holding them together was running out. That is important because taste is not about beauty. It's about response. How do we respond? How are we going to respond on Sunday with souls, with presence, with taste, the kind of people that are in the room? So creative taste sees need and responds with excellence. He gave them the best wine. It does not do the bare minimum. We shouldn't. We never should. It's not just about meeting the problem. It must be answered exceptionally well. So creative taste is formed when there is alignment. Alignment has to be right. The environment has to be right. And need must be properly understood. Yeah. Taste reveals your identity. Because we can see taste in how someone speaks, how someone dresses, how someone builds, how someone finishes work, what you create. Taste is personal. It tells who you are. It's not just style or aesthetics or preference. It's your integrity. Yeah, how you turn up, we will know. Okay. You know, you walked into a room before and you didn't even say, look at me. It just says, I am here. You become visible. So if you want creative taste, let me begin to round up. You must respect time. This is non-negotiable. As in never, ever violate time. You see, whatever puts this hurry inside us, by this time I have to do this, it will give you a bad taste. It will give you a bad taste of yourself. It will give you a bad taste of men, a bad taste of women, a bad taste of employees, a bad taste of customers. So guess what? As a creative, somebody is disrespecting you because you just want to do something, you're going to take payment that is not your value, that devalues you more than escalates your value. Why? Because there is no respect for time. Now, I want you to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying do not do things when you need to do them, but again, is you know why you are doing it. What is propelling you? What is moving you? What is pushing you? I hope you're still with me. I hope you are still with me. Oh, thanks by CM. I see you, sir. Nicky, I see you. Oh, wow. Remy, I see you. Incredible. Thank you for joining in. I hope this has been something for us or something for you. I'm hearing all this for the first time as I'm breaking it down. So sit tight. We're on the home straight. So what we're trying to say is, do not rush what needs development. If anything needs to be developed, wait. I mean, go and listen to PSAM yesterday. It was incredible. It helped me anchor where I'm going with this. Because for us to create, for us to build anything, those of us who are in the creative space, you have to understand we are being called out now to go and build communities, to do things. Who have you become? What has your incubation period been like? Or are you still in it? Stay there. Don't rush what needs to be developed. Do not expose what is not ready, including you. Mm. If something is not aligned, don't force it. Do not decorate delay with, what's the word? Excuses. Taste will be ruined by haste. When you rock up with that chimpanzee in your arm, we know, hurry, that's taste. That is speed. That is internal, whatever. People without taste rush. People with taste refine. Yeah. Now, trust me, I am not preaching do things for forever, wait for forever. No, 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 no. Remember what we're saying here is alignment is key. If you align with a leader, with a creative authority over your life, they can tell you, go now, do this now, do this now. Yeah, so I'm not asking you to chill and do nothing. Alignment is key. Yeah, please bear with me. Understand what I'm trying to say with that. The thing is, Christ didn't violate time in the scripture, portion of scripture we just read. He honored it. He was not controlled by it. He showed impeccable maturity. That is the taste we're talking about. So let me say this plainly. Creative taste is creative integrity. Can you stand by what just happened? Someone may be trying to draw out a comment from me. No, I'm going to wait. Because those words, when they come out of my mouth, creative speech, I'm about to create something in the future. Can I stand by those words when they come back to test me? I have to make sure that the words I say, the things I do, shows integrity. Why? It is proof that this internally I am ordered. That I know who I am. I know where I belong. I'm of this family. I know what I should produce and when to produce it. And guess what? Finally, I will produce it very well. It's not just what you like. Taste is what your life has become. So in closing then, if Christ did not reveal himself through announcements, and it was through his outcome, and guess what? It was just to servants. It's crazy, man. I'm not even going to go into that. If he didn't do that, and he did it through his outcome, and not just any outcome, it was one that was of excellent quality. Yes, water turned into wine, but it was the absolute best. He could have produced cheap wine, but he didn't. He proved that creative taste matters. And that's what I'm trying to tell us. You have to go and look at your wardrobe, your kitchen cabinet, your creative toolbox, your creative environment, your creative company, your creative dream. Look at all of it and pick out where there is haste, hurry, fear, doubt, unbelief. Am I going to make it on time? I have to post every day to be popular. No. Well, they will tell you post regularly. Yes, I will try and replace it with consistency. If it's once a week and it is incredibly ordered, something powerful, the world will wait every week to watch it. Was EastEnders there not once a week? Was it every day? I can't remember if it was every day. I think it was once a week. Well, something, when the shows we like drop, it's once a week. Or there is consistency in the long duration before the next one. But they keep coming and we keep waiting. So creative taste is not, yes, in that he created wine. It was the best wine. So everything we do, you have to go and look at every area of your life. Find what enhances your taste. Because when taste is real, it can't be hidden. It cannot be hidden. When it is real, it will become visible. If you are looking for visibility, get good on the inside. Get confident on the inside. If your taste is real, people will see it and they will trust it. So if you really want to grow creative taste, ask yourself, tick all the boxes based on the titles we've been discussing. Tick, do I have authority over me? Is there someone, I'm not talking about fear and trembling. That's idol worship. It's reverence, respect. I can never let this person down. It's not because of the consequences of what they will say or what they will do. No, it is genuine reverence, respect, and fear in the right measure or in the right definition. Do you have it? Do you have leadership of self? Or I was in a room yesterday when they were telling someone, why do you get called out so easily? Why are you getting called out so easily? You always want to. No, lead yourself into the darkness. There is something they taught us in the British Army, how to use trapped shadow. If you look behind me now, there are areas here and on the top that is darker, right? They're not as bright as this side where there's light because there are two lamps on this side. You can see behind me, there is what they call trapped shadow. The army will teach you to recede into it. Use it as cover. Don't let the enemy see you. Don't stand in a bright light of likes and all kinds of things because we're in a social media era. Don't come out, lead yourself into darkness, the right kind of darkness. Stay anonymous. Stay out of public performance. Then, without panic or fear, you can see the future clearly, your creative future. You can say, give me 10 years, I will build a £1 billion industry, a £1 billion company. And when those things are what's happening on your inside, authority, leadership, and you can see the future clearly, you will have value. If someone says come, you say, I'm not coming. I know who I am. Then the room you're in, the rooms you go into. Because remember, every mile a car goes, it depletes fuel. The fuel runs because every mile is a room. Every inch on that road is a room that it goes into. And if it goes into those rooms, the fuel runs out. You are burning fuel depending on the rooms you go into. So you have to master the rooms you're in. And guess what? The worst one is when you are in a room by yourself and you are depleting yourself. I hope you heard me. You have to master the rooms you're in and everything in that room. Christ knew what to do with servants. He knew what to do with this person. He knew not to go anywhere near the master of ceremony. Because the master of ceremony in a ceremony is expecting that people will be fed horrible wine at a certain time. Oh my God, is that not the world? He knew what to do with him, which is send him good stuff and not even entertain himself with, entertain him as, hi, I'm the one that made that wine. Creative double. There is a portion of you that wants to talk down on you. No, master that person. Talk up on you. Yes. And then speech. What do you say? How is your alignment? What is your respect for time? Timing, what do you know about it? And then do you pursue excellence? All of these things, when they happen, let me tell you what will result. We will not just create things that look good. We will create things that are right, they are beautiful, and they are undeniable for stagnation. They are undeniable for the creative community we are and the creative community we're trying to build. People will look in and say, these people have creative taste, and they will believe. They will believe. That's where today is. That's what we're talking about today. This is the end of it. I've finished. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Check what you're pouring out so that PT will look around and say, what have I built here? Who are these people? Then we will have that scriptural account when the Queen of Sheba went to Solomon. He was telling him, your people, the way they are, let that be said of us. Let that be said of every creative here. Let that be said of anyone. If you're hearing my voice, let it be said of you that you have taste. It's not because you dressed well. You can dress well and still be as in bits or pieces inside. It's you know who you are. You know whose you are. You know the team around you. You know the family you belong to. Creative taste. And with that, I thank you. I hope this has made sense. If it hasn't, watch it again and again and again, or simply put, go and listen to P. Sam's word yesterday. Amazing. We have to work with time. We will change the world. I promise you that. With the things we're doing, with where we are going, but these things are very, very necessary for us to know. And we'll build an amazing world. Our creativity will peak. The world will know that there is a select group of people here doing amazing stuff. So I thank you for sitting with me this whole hour. I hope it's made sense. Let's go out there and either be still or produce taste that will be undeniable to the world that we are who we say we are. It's been me, Daniel Ihedua, Pastor. I thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. I can boldly tell you next week we'll be talking about creative craft. So be ready to, but actually, let me put it this way as I end. Craft is the proof of your taste. Because when they drank that wine, they were like, this is incredible. So let's start by doing that this Sunday as we bring a beautiful offering of souls and populate the venue that we will be in. It's a big venue. I think I'm privy to know where we're going to be. Let's pack it out with the very best people that God would like to touch. And with that, I salute you all. I love you. See you next week. Bye.